John 15:4 says, "Remain in me as I also remain in you. No branch can bear fruit by itself. It must remain in the vine. Neither can you bear fruit unless you remain in me. I am the vine, and you are the branches. If you remain in me, and I in you, you will bear much fruit. Apart from me, you can do nothing." I love that verse. It's one of my very favorite verses, and I think it's because I am a scientist and I like botany. Botany is the study of plants. Right now it's spring here, and I love it. As you walk around my yard, you're going to see beautiful flowers all around the waterfall. You're going to see flowers in the flower gardens, and you're going to see the orchard with the blossoms on the trees. And if you go down into my garden, you're going to see the grapevines. And the grapevines are just starting to get green and healthy looking. They haven't quite blossomed yet. But it's interesting as I look at all of these plants and I watch the blossoms come out. All winter, everything looked dead. And now it's all living and alive and flourishing. And there's beautiful flowers coming out. And the sweet smell fills the air with the aroma of flowers. The bees are starting to buzz around. They're starting to fertilize everything. And it makes me think about this verse of what Jesus is talking about here is that he belongs in us, and that when he is in us, he brings about a harvest. He helps us to blossom, and he helps us to make the fruit that will attract other people to the truth of who Jesus is. When I was in high school, I had a friend who was an amazing example of a Christian. She was so loving and gentle and patient and kind. All of the fruits of the Spirit were in her, and everybody could see it. We had friends that didn't know about Jesus, and they wanted what she had. And one time somebody asked her, "What's different about you?" And she realized, what was different about her is that she had Jesus, and they didn't. It gave her a chance to be a witness to her friends about why they should believe in the truth of who God is, and how they themselves could have the same fruits of the Spirit in their life if they would just believe in who Jesus is. As we're doing electricity, I want you to think about a light. I want you to think about a lamp in your bedroom that you have plugged into the wall. And you come in and you turn that light on and you're reading your Bible, and all of a sudden the light sits there and says, "You know what? I'm tired of being a light. I don't think I want to do it anymore." And it unplugs its own electrical cord and just sits there. I'm not going to do it anymore. And you were able to read your Bible, but when it decided to pull out its own electrical cord and sit there in a snuff, and it didn't want anything more to do with the electricity coming through it, its light went out. And what I want you guys to think about is that God doesn't force us to love him. He presents us with the truth of who he is, the truth of who we are, and the truth of who he wants us to be. And he presents us with an invitation to live life plugged into him, to be in fellowship with him. But he doesn't force that on us. If somebody wants to unplug that cord and sit there humped, they're just not going to have the life of Christ coming through them. And the effect of that will be that they won't have the fruits of the Spirit either. My prayer for you guys is that you'll never decide to unplug your electrical cord. You'll never decide to unplug from God. Always submit to the Lord. Come before him and ask for his power to be within you. Well, you read that verse about the fruit, and it says, "Remain in me as I also remain in you." No branch can bear fruit by itself. You cannot be always loving, kind, patient, and at peace just by trying harder. It doesn't work. The only way that you can be those things is to stay plugged into God. So plug in today. Get your Bible out, read it, and when you turn on your light, be glad that it can't make the decision to unplug itself from the wall.